Wanderers. The year is 2042. The world is a very different place than it was just a few decades ago. Climate change has ravaged the planet, and many major cities have been abandoned due to rising sea levels. The global economy has collapsed, and widespread poverty and hunger are rampant. In this new world, there are two types of people, those who have and those who have not. The haves live in gated communities and luxury bunkers, while the have-nots struggle to survive in the slums and wastelands. The story follows a young woman named Anya, who lives in a small village in the former United States. Anya is a talented artist, but she has no way to express her creativity. She lives in a world where people are more concerned with survival than art. One day, Anya meets a stranger who offers her a chance to escape her village and see the world. The stranger is a member of a group called the Wanderers, and they are looking for people with Anya's talents. The Wanderers are a group of artists, musicians, and writers who travel the world, sharing their work with anyone who will listen. They believe that art is essential to the human spirit, and they are determined to keep it alive, even in the darkest of times. Anya joins the Wanderers and sets out on a journey across the post-apocalyptic landscape. Along the way, she meets other survivors who are trying to rebuild their lives. She also witnesses the devastating effects of climate change and the greed of the wealthy. Through her experiences, Anya comes to realize that art is more than just a luxury. It is a way to express hope, to connect with others, and to make sense of a world that has been turned upside down. The Wanderers' journey takes them to many different places, from the ruins of New York City to the frozen tundra of Siberia. They encounter all sorts of people, from friendly villagers to dangerous bandits. Anya learns a lot about herself and the world during her time with the Wanderers. She discovers that she is stronger and more resourceful than she ever thought possible. She also learns the importance of community and the power of art. In the end, Anya decides to stay with the Wanderers and continue their mission of spreading hope and beauty through art. She believes that art is the key to rebuilding the world, and she is determined to do her part. The story ends with Anya and the Wanderers performing for a group of survivors in a small village. The audience is moved by the performance, and they leave feeling hopeful about the future. The story is a hopeful one, even though it is set in a dark and dystopian world. It shows that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope. Art can be a powerful force for good, and it can help people to connect with each other and to make sense of the world around them. Anya and the Wanderers continued their journey, traveling to different parts of the world and sharing their art with anyone who would listen. They performed in refugee camps, in war-torn cities, and in the slums of the world's biggest cities. Their art was a source of hope and inspiration for people who had lost everything. It gave them a reason to keep going, even in the darkest of times. Anya's paintings were particularly popular. They captured the beauty of the world, even in the midst of destruction. They showed people that there was still hope, even when things seemed hopeless. Anya's work also helped to raise awareness of the plight of the world's poor and forgotten. She used her art to give a voice to the voiceless, and to shine a light on the injustices of the world. The Wanderers' journey was not without its challenges. They were often met with resistance from those who did not believe in the power of art. They were also threatened by those who wanted to silence them. But the Wanderers never gave up. They believed in the power of art to change the world, and they were determined to make a difference. Anya and the Wanderers continued to travel and perform for many years. They touched the lives of millions of people with their art, and they helped to make the world a better place. One day, Anya was painting in a small village when she was approached by a young woman. The woman told Anya that she had been inspired by her work, and she wanted to become an artist herself. Anya was thrilled to see that her work was having a positive impact on the world. She took the young woman under her wing and taught her everything she knew about art. The young woman went on to become a successful artist herself, and she continued to spread Anya's message of hope and inspiration. Anya's story is a reminder that art can be a powerful force for good in the world. It can give people hope, inspire them to make a difference, and help them to see the beauty in the world, even in the midst of darkness. The young woman, whose name was Maya, became a close friend of Anya's. They traveled together for many years, sharing their art with the world. Maya's art was different from Anya's. It was more abstract and less representational. But it was just as powerful, and it spoke to people in a different way. Anya and Maya's work was often exhibited in galleries and museums around the world. They also published several books of their art. Their work was highly acclaimed by critics and collectors. But it was the impact that their work had on ordinary people that was most gratifying. Anya and Maya received countless letters from people who had been touched by their art. People told them how their work had given them hope, inspired them to make a difference, or helped them to see the beauty in the world. Anya and Maya were both humbled and grateful for the impact that their work had on the world. They knew that they were making a difference, and they were determined to continue their work for as long as they could. One day, Anya and Maya were invited to speak at a conference on the power of art. They spoke about their own experiences as artists, and they shared some of the stories that they had received from people who had been touched by their work. The audience was moved by Anya and Maya's speeches. They gave them a standing ovation, and many people came up to them afterwards to thank them for sharing their stories. Anya and Maya were glad that they had been able to share their stories with the world. They knew that art could be a powerful force for good, and they were determined to continue using their art to make a difference. Anya and Maya continued to travel and speak about the power of art for many years. They inspired countless people with their stories, and they helped to make the world a better place. One day, Anya and Maya were both awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for their work. They were honored to receive the award, and they vowed to continue using their art to make the world a more peaceful place. Anya and Maya continued to work until they were well into their old age. They never stopped believing in the power of art to change the world, and they never stopped using their art to make a difference. Anya and Maya's story is a reminder that art can be a powerful force for good in the world. It can give people hope, inspire them to make a difference, and help them to see the beauty in the world, even in the midst of darkness. Anya and Maya's work continued to inspire people long after they were gone. Their paintings and sculptures were displayed in museums around the world, and their books were read by millions. Their legacy was one of hope and inspiration. They showed the world that art can be a powerful force for good, and they encouraged others to use their own talents to make a difference. Anya and Maya's story is a reminder that we all have the power to make the world a better place. We may not all be artists, but we all have something to offer. We can all use our own unique talents to make a difference in the world. The world is a better place because of Anya and Maya. They showed us the power of art, and they inspired us to make a difference. We can all learn from their example and use our own talents to make the world a better place. Here are some specific examples of how Anya and Maya's work inspired people. A young woman who was struggling with depression found hope in Anya's paintings. She said that they helped her to see the beauty in the world, even when she was feeling down. A man who was homeless was inspired by Maya's sculptures. He said that they gave him the strength to keep going, even when things were tough. A group of children who were living in a refugee camp were touched by Anya and Maya's art. They said that it helped them to feel safe and loved. Anya and Maya's work made a real difference in the world. They inspired people to find hope, to keep going, and to feel loved. Their legacy will continue to inspire people for generations to come.